This Zoom call after a long time. For those who were with us during COVID times, this was a regular thing for us coming online day after day. So it's not easy to be connected, even when in person, our body is there, but our mind is somewhere else. So virtually, it's our body is also not there, and our mind could be somewhere else also. But what we can do is gradually, slowly bring our mind to the satsang, because satsang can be through any medium. It can be through online also. So if you're a family, you can gather kids, everybody together, sit down together for the next hour or so, and hear some Krishna Katha. If you are alone by yourself, you can put away any other gadgets. You can put away anything else you're doing and just stay here. One thing I would highly recommend, if you're on a laptop or if you're on the phone, stay a little away from it. Keep it somewhere close enough where you can hear, but so that your fingers don't touch, because the mind is such that it may tend to open multiple browsers or multitask. That while I'm hearing, let me also do something else at the same time. And in that, we may miss out the significance and importance of some things that I'll be sharing. So today's topic is the 9 processes of devotional service, focusing on number 7, which is becoming a servant, or Dasyam. We've covered the other 6 before, and we will be covering the next 2 in the coming weeks. The Dasyam devotional service, these 9 processes were given to us by Prahlad Maharaj. And Dasyam is something that is part of all the other processes of devotional service. Thank you for those who are online. If you can come on the screen, that would be wonderful. Kids generally love to be online, so this way you're sure that they will stay on the camera and they will hear the whole class. So thank you for doing that, those who are on. So this Dasyam is one of those 9 processes of devotional service, which is included in all other processes. To hear, or maybe to chant, or maybe to remember, or to serve the Lord, or to do worship of the Lord, or offer prayers, or to become a friend, or surrender everything to the Lord, you have to have this one quality of becoming subservient or becoming a das. When we get initiated, we get this name, Das. Many times I thought, when I was new to Krishna conscious, I thought that everybody in ISKCON is from Bengal because they had their last name as Das. Until when I got initiated, I also got the same name Das. I understood that it's not the last name. It means that the servant of the Lord. And same with the ladies, Devi Dasi, which means you're also a servant of the Lord. So remembering this is very important. When someone asks me, new person comes in, they say, Prabhu, what's your name? We don't generally say my name is Ramacandra Prabhuji or Ramachandra Prabhu. We say my name is Ramachandra Das. Then they hear everybody address and they say Prabhu, 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 Prabhu. And then they ask Prabhu, like, how should we address you, Ramachandra Das? Or said, yes, you can call me Ramachandra Das, but ideally what everybody calls is Ramachandra Prabhu. I would address you also as Prabhu, and that's how it is. But we would not announce ourselves and say that I am, so-and-so Prabhu, because we want to become servants of others, and that's why we call others Prabhu. So when we talk about Dasyam, for each and every 9 process of devotional service, there is an Acharya. Can somebody name who's the Acharya of Dasyam? You can type it in the chat box. Hopefully chat is open for you all to type. But who is the Acharya of Dasyam. Or you could unmute if you like. Kalani Premataji, Haribol, Nimai Kruna Prabhu, Haribol, Hanuman. Perfect. Abhinay, yes, Hanuman. Let's be very, very interactive as far as possible. Thank you, Soundarya, Shan, Prasanna. Yes, you're right on the target. It's Hanuman. If we go to the next slide, you see a beautiful picture of Lord Hanuman at the lotus feet of Lord Ram in a Dasya Bhav. Das means folding hands. These are some gestures, going down on your knees, bowing down. Why do we offer pranams? In our tradition in Sanatan Dharma, men offer full danvats with their arms stretched out on their chest, and ladies offer half danvats, which is going on their knees. And so we need one or two other people to be co-hosts so they can monitor. Maybe Nimai Karuna Prabhu can be another co-host so he can monitor the Zoom call. And somebody was chanting. I would request you not to chant during the class so you can hear nicely. So here is Hanuman on his feet and worshiping Lord Ram. If we go to the next slide, imagine an ad that is being placed. You come across an ad in IBC, ISKCON Bergen County or elsewhere. Servant needed. What are the qualifications? You must be qualified to anticipate and fulfill the master's every desire without direct instruction. You must be available 24/7 with no time off for sick leave, vacations, or holidays. You should be willing to sacrifice life if needed. There will be no salary. Modest meals and humble dwelling will be provided, along with much good if the master is satisfied. If master is satisfied, you may get some bonus. Otherwise, this is the qualification. Anybody on this call would like to take this position, please raise your hand. We have only one position available. Anybody who would like to take this? Who's the master? Lord Ram is the master. He has put this ad. Is there anybody who would like to take this? Nobody so far. Ram is going to be very disappointed. But Ram, you need to know this is Kali Yuga. Nobody wants this kind of position. You throw in some perks and they will take it. But so far, no takes. Nobody has raised their hand yet. Okay. Gopal Govind Prabhu. Gopal Govind Prabhu gets the job. So Gopal Govind Prabhu, this is the same ad that was placed in Treta Yuga by Lord Ram, and Hanumanji got this position. Seriously, nobody else raised their hand? I'm really surprised that nobody else seemed interested. Prasanna is okay. Now a few more are coming on board. But this is what it is. The spiritual life, Das servant position is this is what it is. It's all voluntary. Srila Prabhupada, we are talking about Hanuman, but just take very recent as Hanuman and many other Vaishnavas in today's times. This is exactly what they do, right? They are ready to satisfy every desire without direct instruction from their guru or their spiritual master. They're available 24/7. They're ready to. Today, I'm feeling, by the way, today's class was supposed to be given by His Grace Kratu Prabhuji. So I'm, putting on in his place. It's very hard to fill that position because he's one such servant of his spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada, who's been working 24/7 with no time off for sickness or anything. Even while they're sick, they're in their bed in the hospital, and they're still communicating and making sure that the disciples are taken care of. Movement is moving forward. things are happening on time. There's no vacation. I don't believe they've gone on vacations, material vacations, ever, or taken any holiday. So today's filling up Maharaj's shoes is not easy. And they're willing to sacrifice life if needed. Many times you're willing to sacrifice a little bit here and there, but end of the day, we are all in love with our own life, our own body. We may give away some things here and there, but finally, if somebody asks for, can you give me your life? It's very difficult. But we have seen devotees who have put their lives in such a risky situation. Even look at Jesus and his apostles and saints who went around the world to preach the message of the Bible. And Christianity spread like fire all over the world in the last 2000 plus years or so. Why? Because they were willing to sacrifice everything for love of God. What was their expectations? Nothing. What was Srila Prabhupada's expectation? Nothing. Only thing that I want to execute the orders of my spiritual master. What else? Nothing else. Were they getting anything in return? No, if you are full-time devotees, you were staying in the temple and getting some food, some prasadam, and some lodging. But other than that, they sacrificed everything. It it bothers me when sometimes devotees say that, that was a mistake. If that was a mistake, if devotees did not sacrifice their lives today, ISKCON would not have been where it is. So according to time, place, and circumstance, Krishna had a plan. Krishna had a plan to send Srila Prabhupada. Krishna had a plan so that through Srila Prabhupada, this movement would spread all over the world. And to assist Srila Prabhupada, some of his disciples were placed where they would take this movement far and away into every nook and corner of the world. And they did it the way that nobody would have thought of. So those sacrifices will never go wasted, and we have to ensure that we carry forward. Today, we could have easily said, it's going to, weather is bad, so let's just cancel the program and let's just relax, just take a break from Sunday temple so that we can just enjoy. And for some of us, it's a holiday tomorrow. But think about it. Break from what? In fact, many of us, correct me if I'm wrong, or raise your hand if you agree with me, are missing that association of devotees today. Are probably wondering, what do I do at this hour? We're so used to going to the temple week after week after week after week. And it's like, don't know what to do today. But here we are in the association of devotees still, and interacting, seeing some names, seeing some faces, hearing Krishna's names gives us a sense of security, safety, a feeling of being at home. If we're not feeling that, then we're a little far away from developing that love and attachment for devotees. So this is what real Dasya means. This ad kind of exemplifies. Now, next slide, what I would like to ask you all, and you could either unmute or type, feel free to, is name some devotees who serve the Lord selflessly. They were completely dependent on Him for everything and more. And Ramtulsi Prabhu, you can maybe type some of those on those blocks in that column. This could be from Srimad Bhagavatam, could be from Ramayana, could be from Mahabharata. Let's jot down some names. Nimaikrona Prabhu said Prahlad Maharaj. Maybe we can Ramtulsi Prabhu write it down too. Jatayu, Amrish Prabhu, Arjun, Shabri, Mirabai, Purandar Das, Lakshman, oh, wonderful, wonderful. Hanuman, Haridas Thakur, Sudama, Narsi Mehta, yes. Mirabai, Ramtulsi Prabhu, are you there? Srila Prabhupada, who can forget? Narad Muni, Dhruv Maharaj, Garud, Saraswati Thakur, yes, Raghvendra Swami, Janaki, yes, so many names, all these names. Okay, I guess we'll just have it on the chat. I just wanted to capture it.
Yeah, I cannot type on the screen.
You're not able to type on the screen, no problem. Queen Kunti, Madhvacharya. Let's go to the next screen then. All these were exalted devotees of the Lord in the mood of Dasya. And here we can see some of those names that you mentioned, like Prahlad Maharaj, who never compromised his devotion, even under severe opposition and danger, where his own father was about to kill him. Dhruv Maharaj, who completely surrendered to the instructions of Narad Muni and went to meditate on Lord Vishnu. You have Amrish Maharaj, who gave up everything. Gajendra, Narad Muni, who uses every moment, he's such a servant of the Lord. Every moment he travels around to inspire others towards love of God. You have Mother Kunti, who despite of so many difficulties, always remained a humble servant of the Lord. Sukadev Goswami, who was completely renounced, and he spoke of the Bhagavatam as a subservient of the Lord. Next slide. Similarly, here we have many other personalities. Bhishma Dev, at the time of his leaving his body, he focused his mind on the Lord. Draupadi, in the assembly of all her elders, was disrobed to complete shelter of the Lord. Uttara, even with a child in the womb of the Lord, her and her son was protected. Yudhishthir Maharaj, despite so many atyacharas, completely remained obedient, subservient to the Lord. And then the next slide, Arjun also, of course. And then we have Hanuman, we're discussing today. Then Lakshman, Shabri, Bharat Maharaj, Vibhishan, Sugriv, all are exemplary through their lives that they showed how to become subservient to the Lord. But the topic is vast, and the best way I thought would be to talk about some of the many qualities of Hanuman. How many of here would like to become servant of the Lord? Raise your hand or type in the chat box. There are different rasas in which one can serve the Lord. Shantaras, Dasyaras, Sakhyaras, Vatsalyaras, and Madhuryaras. Of that, Dasyarasa as a servant through Vaidhi process, Vaidhi Bhakti, is what we follow currently. If we want to become the masters, then that is following the rasa of someone like Hiranyakashipu or Ravana. But our mood is to become servant, Dasanudas. So Hanumanji, to understand that the Acharya of Das, who's Hanuman, if we want to develop some qualities of Hanuman, we need to know more about that Acharya. Simple as that. Why is Hanuman so great in the eyes of Lord Ram? Why is Hanuman so dear to Lord Ram? These are some questions we should ask ourselves. If I want to please Hanuman, because Dasanu, Dasanu, Das means to become the servant of the servant of the servant of the Supreme Lord, what should I be doing? How can I develop that quality? And Hanuman has many, many qualities. One of the pastimes that comes to my mind is about when the army of the Vanaras are separated in different directions to search for Sita Maharani, and a team of Vanaras head south in the southern direction, which includes Sugriv, Angad, Neel, Nal. Hanuman is also part of that army who's heading towards that direction. And they reach to the bottom by the ocean, and they're looking across. And they know that Sita Maharani we've heard that she's across the ocean in Lanka. Now, when all of them look at the ocean, very ferocious waves, 100 yojanas wide. 1 yojana is said to be about 8 miles. And this was 100 yojanas. So here, everybody's sitting, wondering, who's going to go? Who's going to take up this service of jumping? One Vanara says, I can jump 10 yojanas. Other says, I can jump 20. Other says, listen, I can do 40. Finally, Angad says, listen, I can do this 100 yojana. I can jump across, but I'll have no energy left to come back. What to do? And Jamvan notices that Hanumanji is sitting in one corner very quietly. He's not saying anything. And Jamvan goes up to Hanuman and says, hey, Hanuman, why are you so quiet? You're not saying anything. No, I'm just listening to all the other devotees if they're volunteering for this service. He says, Hanuman, you know that you are the only one who can cross this and come back. He's surprised. He's astonished. And then Jamvan reminds Hanuman of his powers, that as a young child, he had approached Surya, sun god, thinking that it's, a toy, and he had approached, and he was punished by the Devi Devatas, and he had forgotten his powers. And Jamvan reminds Hanuman. At that time, Hanuman, when he's reminded, he gets all his energy and enthusiasm back, and he grows himself like a great mountain in front of everyone. And he gives them hope. He gives hope to all the Vanaras there who are lamenting and wondering, how will we find Sita? How will we tell Hanuman that we have found her? But eventually we will see that Hanuman is the one who not only gave hope to all the Vanara armies here, but also gave hope to Sita Maharani in Lanka. He also destroyed the hope of Ravana, who thought one day Sita will be his. Then he comes back and also gives hope to Ram that I have found Sita Maharani and she's well and alive. Here we can learn one quality of Jambavan, a leadership quality. How he empowers Hanuman, reminding him of his powers, saying positive and encouraging words in an encouraging tone. This is a quality of a leader who takes up some seva in a leadership role. Any leadership role. It could be something as a cooking role. It could be something as cleaning role. It could be something as preaching role. It could be something as performing arti. There are different departments. A leader is somebody who does not boss around, is somebody who sees good qualities in others. A leader is somebody who sees potential in others and inspires them and says encouraging words in an encouraging way, in a positive way, to bring out the best in that person. Here, Jamvan did that. If a leader is negative, if the leader's tone is negative, if the leader is always bossing around, if the leader is always belittling, what will happen? It will demotivate a person. They will start feeling that I'm not capable of doing anything. Jambuvan could have stood there and said, you all incapable Vanaras of the Sugriv's army, you're a waste. None of you can dare to do this. Even Hanuman, he could have just gotten frustrated and yelled at them. Instead, he is bringing out the best. This is a leadership quality that, remember, even at your workplace, in your personal lives, you can utilize this. Srila Prabhupada was an expert at doing this. He saw the different qualities of his disciples. Who was good at preaching? Who was good at cooking? Who was good with public relations? He would bring out the best in those devotees. And then he would bring that confidence that, listen, you can do it. And then he would step back a little bit and let them do it. And he would always be there to guide and provide guidance. Our goal should not be that I want to be in charge of everything. That mentality is an asuric mentality. If you are a manager at work and doing everything, but if you have managers in your group who make things happen, then you're much, much better position. Now, one may say, well, then my position could be gone. Well, in spiritual life, at least, if that happens, that's a good thing, because now you are freed to take up some other service which is required to be done, so that now somebody else is taking up this service nicely. But for that, it requires a lot of training, because when pride sinks in, that now I'm puffed up because I can do this, I can give lectures, I can manage temples, that can destroy one's spiritual life. So here Jamban instills that motivation in Hanuman, and Hanuman is starts speaking with pride that, hey, I can do this. I can go there and come back very easily. No problem at all. What do you want me to do? Should I just go there and pick up Sita if she's there and bring her back? Or maybe, no, maybe you want me to, should I just go and kill Ravana? So this way the war is over. We don't even have to worry about going across. Jamvanji, what should I do? Just tell me and I'll do it. Is Hanuman boasting about his powers? Not really. Just see what is happening here. Hanumanji is instilling confidence in his men who are despondent of the situation. They're sad. They're looking at this great, vast ocean, and they're stuck. They've come to a dead end, and they're losing hope. And Hanuman, at this point, is instilling hope in them and saying, listen, dear friends, don't be worried. Main hu na, I'll take care of it. A leader's quality is that even if there is nothing there, a leader will give hope, will say that, hey, listen, this can be done. Don't worry. It will happen. I will lead you from the forefront. Prabhupada did that when he had nothing. I will go. His spiritual God brothers are saying that Prabhupada, Abhay Charan, who was later on took sannyas, he said, you are going to go there at this age. What will you do? Prabhupada said, no, I will go. I have full confidence in my spiritual master. He gave hope to some that I can do it. Same way, Hanuman was not being pride. So we must not misunderstand when a devotee speaks with confidence. One devotee that comes to my mind is Braj Vilas Prabhu, who's the TOVP co-director. How many of you all know him, or have known of him, or have heard him? or interacted with him or heard his speeches, one may just think that, just another person coming here and giving great motivational speech and all. But no, it is a humongous task to complete this Temple of Vedic Planetarium in Mayapur. And he comes here and gives hope. He says, we will do it. How many of you all want to join this and become a part of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's prediction? We will do it. Well, they need millions of dollars, but he says, we will do it. And he instills hope. And he encourages so many of us to donate so much to make this dream come true, that there will be a Adbhut Mandir in Mayapur Dham, which will last for thousands of years. He's instilling. Is he proud of himself? No. So this is one quality we must remember from this pastime, where he instills this confidence and esteem. Then as he travels, as Hanuman is traveling, he takes off for Lanka, and his first obstacle that comes to him is the Mainika mountain. Suddenly from the ocean, this mountain comes up and blocks him and says, Hanuman, you have a long way to go, 100 yojanas. Please stop here, take some rest, and then move forward. We're talking about Das, remember, a servant's qualities. He's on a mission. When he's on a mission, and it's a time-bound mission, Hanuman doesn't stop there. He folds his hands and tells Mainaka Mountain that thank you, but no thanks. He showed his respect, but his focus was on his goal, that I have to rush. There is no time for me here to stop and take a break in the middle of an ocean in an island. Let me just go into the clear waters and, just relax and enjoy a couple of hours or a day or two, and then I'll head back. Anyways, मैं इतना तो कर रहा हूँ. I'm doing so much. So what's wrong in me taking a break and just taking some aram, some rest, so I can continue my journey? He's saying, no way, I have to keep moving. That's another quality of a servant, that he is not thinking about himself. He's thinking about the orders of the spiritual master or what the mission requires. Then he offers respect, and as he moves forward, what happens? Surisa, the mother of Nagas, appears, and she opens her mouth, and she says, listen, Hanuman, I've been given a boon by Lord Brahma. What is that? That anything that passes in front of me has to go through my mouth, come inside my mouth, so I can eat that person. And that person will never escape. So here you are, you're crossing, and I'm standing in front of you. You have to enter my mouth. Now look at Hanuman's humility. Hanuman sees, he's thinking quickly that here is somebody who wants to kill me, who wants to eat me. And she says, okay. So Hanuman grows taller. He becomes 10 yojanas, and she opens her mouth to 20 yojanas. And then Hanuman grows to 40 yojanas, and she opens her mouth to 50 yojanas. So this healthy competition increases between themselves. And then suddenly what Hanumanji does, he becomes very tiny, enters the mouth of Surasa, and comes out and stands there with a humble position with his arms folded. As his mother, I have fulfilled your desire to enter your mouth. But his main purpose was that this boon was given to her by Lord Brahma. To keep Lord Brahma's word as true, he went in and came out. That was his humility. He could have destroyed her, but he says that she has been blessed by a great Vaishnava like Lord Brahma himself. How can I not let Lord Brahma's boon come true? Then he moves forward, and as he's moving forward, he suddenly feels loss of energy. And as he's feeling loss of energy, he's getting pulled down a little bit. And he realizes that someone is pulling his shadow. And that was a demon by the name Simhika, who was filled with enviousness, hatred, and jealousy. Now, here, Hanuman, different situation. He offered his respects to Mainaka mountain. He offered his respects to Surasa. But just look what he did with Simhika. When somebody is on a mission to serve the Lord, to do service for the Lord, and we come across many times people who are envy, who are jealous, trying to slow us down with using derogatory words, negative words, toxic words, which affects our own sadhana, which affects our own tolerance. What to do at that time? One time, a devotee recently was sharing, who after many years, I just heard this today, they did not have a child. This couple did not have a child for many years, and they were feeling sad because another devotee made a comment that you become a grihastha and you don't even have a child. What is the use of this, your grihastha life like this? And it hurt that person. It was a very negative comment. So that person went up to my Guru Maharaj and asked, Maharaj, somebody said like this, it's been years, we don't have a child, and they made statements like this. And Maharaj said one thing. He said, if somebody spits at the clouds, if somebody spits at the clouds, the spit is going to fall on them only. You are doing service for Srila Prabhupada according to whatever situation, whatever karmas, whatever reasons. You don't have a child, don't worry about it. If somebody is making such derogatory statements, there is no need to say that, but it'll come back to them only. And this Prabhu mentioned that after years, this person was a great kirtaniya. He left ISKCON, the person who made comments like this, left ISKCON, left Krishna consciousness, and the last time they heard was he was in a mess. So we have to be very, very careful from developing such mentalities. One of the first offenses against the holy names of the Lord is to blaspheme the devotees who have dedicated their lives in propagating Krishna consciousness. Imagine if we develop this envy and hatred for others who are also serving Krishna, then what would be the results? A dasya's mood is that, hey, there is another das, another servant who's serving better than me, someone who makes a better prasadam than me, someone who sings better than me, somebody who dances better than me, somebody who's more intelligent than me, somebody who's smarter than me in serving the Lord, feels pleasure in doing that. And the envy mentality is, why is this person glorified? Why is this person better than me? You see? Simhika was such a personality, very envy. So if we think about tolerance and humility, it does not apply in this situation. When somebody becomes an impediment in our spiritual life, when somebody pulls us down and says, listen, you cannot do this service anymore, you're not good at this, or goes around your back trying to bring you down and bring others' enthusiasm down, and it dampens our mood of enthusiastic service. What Hanuman did was went inside her mouth and came out from her chest and tore her apart and killed her. Now, that doesn't mean that we have to go and kill that person, but what it means is that is not the time to become humble and tolerant. That is the time to maintain distance, respectful distance. And if one is in a position to speak out, then one can. Listen, this is absolutely wrong, and caution them that by doing these activities, you're destroying your own sadhana and you're destroying other sadhana. So either straighten up, understand, become humble, or else you'll be destroyed by yourself. and then going forward to maintain complete distance, otherwise, it will kill your own enthusiasm in serving Krishna. So, this way he kills and he moves forward. And at that time, he reaches Lanka. And when he reaches Lanka, first he faces Lankini, who's guarding Lanka. And Lankini sees this great monkey and says, "Listen, you can't enter Lanka." And at that time, Hanuman grows himself huge and destroys, hits Lankini on the head. And when she falls down, Lankini is very powerful. She says that, "I remember now that Brahmaji had told me once that a monkey will come and hit you, and that will be the sign that destruction of Lanka is imminent and very close. So today I have received that sign. Hanuman, you have proved this, that Lanka's end is near. Please enter Lanka." Now imagine the doorkeeper of Lanka has given permission to Hanuman to enter inside. This was evening time when Hanuman reached Lanka. And he defeats Lankini, he moves forward. He thinks that, let me start with Ravana's palace. That's where Sita must be, somewhere around. Ravana's palace, can anybody take a guess? How big was Ravana's palace? Let's talk in miles. You can type it in the chat box, or you can raise your hand or unmute yourself and say. Just so that we get an idea, we're talking about Treta Yuga. We're not talking about today's palaces. How many miles? 4 yojanas, okay? 1 yojana is 8 miles. Krishna Prabhu saying 4 yojanas. Anybody else would like to take a shot? Any kids? Lanka was 8 miles long. In there, he also sees, Hanumanji sees the Pushpak Viman, the chariot airplane that flies by itself, expands as much as people it needs to take. He saw beautiful women over there. He saw them drinking, just lying down drunk. And here is a brahmachari, Hanumanji, going around from room to room and looking for Sita. Now, when he's looking for Sita, he was given, Hanumanji was given some description of the features of Sita Maharani. Ramji told him, aise dikhegi. He didn't say that, okay, come here, see, here is a selfie picture of me and, my wife Sita. You take this with you, so you'll be able to find Sita. Here is our wedding pictures. I'll give you some wedding pictures of ours. You take this with you. Or you know what, carry this video. I have a YouTube link. You can see Sita, find her. None of that was there. So he's giving description how Sita Maharani looks. And in order for that, poor Hanuman has to go through each and every woman who were in that quarters, and he's looking at them very closely. Some of them were half naked, lying down drunk. Some of them had their face covered. He slowly opens them to see, is this looking like Sita Maharani? Imagine that. For a brahmachari. Yeah, it is said that brahmacharis should never even talk to a woman alone in any situation. And here he's having to go through all these ladies who are like apsaras. But he's focused on his mission. He remembers, why have I come here? What is my mission? If I get stuck here, if I get distracted in my service, how will I show my face to Lord Ram? If I don't go back, Lord Ram will leave his body. He may die. This is how his thinking is going. If he dies, Lakshman will die. If Lakshman will die, all the other Sugriv will die. Sugriv dies, all his Vanar Seva will die. If in Bharat Maharaj finds out in Ayodhya that Ram has passed away, then Bharat will die. Then if Bharat dies, what will happen to the Ayodhya Vasis? They will all. So like this, his mental speculation goes on. He's focused. I have to find Sita. And while he's finding, going around, then he notices one very, very exalted Mataji who resembles Sita Maharani. And he goes closer and closer. He says, this could be. Then suddenly he realizes, so thoughtful, he says that how could this be Sita Maharani in the palace of Ravana? And how is she sleeping? I don't think Sita Maharani can even sleep for a moment in separation from her husband. I don't think she's even taken a sip of water since she's been separated from her husband. And what to speak about eating? I don't think she even eats. So this cannot be her. This has got to be someone else, although she resembles the description of Sita Maharani. Then who's that personality? Can anybody share that in the text? Who could have been that personality that Hanuman is saying that looks very much like Sita Maharani? The features are very much like her. Yes, Nimisha Patel. Mandodari. Yes, yes, all of you, you're correct. Because Mandodari was very, very chaste and a very devoted wife. And she had these resemblance. But when he saw that, Ravan ki ghar pe itne aaram se sona, it possibly nahi ho sakta that this is her. And then he moves around and he finally comes to Ashok Vatika where he sees Sita Maharani. And long story short, that he expresses who I am. And he says, Maharani, come on, I'll take you with me. And what does Sita Maharani say? No, just look at the exalted personality of Sita Maharani. Imagine one of us, any of you are Krishna. I pray that doesn't happen, but you are in a situation where you need to escape. And somebody comes and says, listen, your husband has sent me to rescue you. He says, you'll say first thing, where is the car? Where is the motorbike? Let's go. Here, Maharani is saying, no, I will not go with you. If I go with you, what about the glories of my husband Ram? I want him to come. I want him to come and take me with him. And she doesn't go with him. And as Hanuman says, okay, I will go and convey to Ram and he will come, Sita Maharani starts having doubt. He says, how will you cross this ocean and go back? And at this time, what does Hanuman do? Pay attention. In the beginning with Jambavan, Hanuman was glorifying his strength and he was giving hope to the Vanaras by saying, hey, listen, I can do this. Don't worry. I'll go and I'll come back and I'll fight. I'll lead you guys. Haribol, hippe borre. Now what he's saying is, Sita Maharani, Maharani, I'm actually the most weakest in the army of Lord Ram. And they've picked me to come here. So don't worry. He will come and all the Vanaras will come. Because imagine there is millions of them standing there and they pick the weakest Vanara to come here. And if I can do this, they can easily do it, no? So now he's giving that hope to Sita Maharani by becoming the most humble. So there are times in a das, in a servant as when we are serving devotees, that where we have to show that confidence. Many times devotees come up to me and say, Prabhuji, how to do this, how to do that? Should we do this? Should we not do that? For me, it's the first time. But if I go and say, I don't know if I can do that, I don't know what to do. If Hanuman was, when everybody was looking at Hanuman when he left for Lanka, and Hanuman had said, I don't know if I can cross this ocean. What if I fall down in the middle of the ocean? Imagine what will happen to the enthusiasm, the hope of all the Vanaras. That was not the time for Hanuman to take a humble position and say, no, I'm not capable. I'm the most, fallen of all the fallen devotees of the Lord. That is not the time to show humility. But then there was time also to show that full humility to Sita Maharani and give hope and say, listen, if I can do it. So many times we say, Arey Baba, Prabhupada ke army mein, if I can do this, there are such Maharathis in this army. If I can do it, can you imagine what all these Maharathis can do for ISKCON? So sometimes we take that humble position and show. So this was another way of Hanuman's showing him, Das Dasanu Das. Next slide. There are three types of servants. One, which is a best servant, who accomplishes more than the duty is entrusted by the master. The master says, do XYZ, he'll do XYZ plus one. The mediocre one will do, never attempts to do more than what the master orders, though they are capable, but they will only do, from point A to B and then I'm done. But they have the capability to do more. And the worst one is who does not carry out the master's order, although they are qualified. We have to see which position, where do I fit today? And where do I want to go going forward? Where do I want to be? To become Hanuman, somebody who served Lord Ram with so much love and devotion, and after the whole battle is over, they go to Ayodhya, Ram is coronated, Ram is taking everyone back to the spiritual world. He tells Hanuman, Hanuman, you stay here. Now, Hanuman could have said, Ramji, I have served you in the best of my ability, and you're telling me I cannot come with you to the spiritual world. This is not right, okay? This is, you're being very, you're doing partiality here with others. None of that. He was just pleased with whatever the instructions of Lord Ram was. This is Dasyam. I know even devotees today, today's times, who are so humble. You tell them to do XYZ, they'll do XYZ. One of the greatest qualities of a great servant or das is to understand the mood of their master. So they don't need to ask every time what to do. They understand. They always read the master's mind and they think, what would have done at this time? If in this situation Prabhupada was there, what would he have done? What would my leader would have done if he was or she was in this situation? They understand that mood and carry on. They would that challenging position. So I know so many of them that they would not come to a Sunday program. They would text me and say, Prabhuji, sorry, but I'm not there today. They don't have any service, but just that acknowledgement that my leader will worry about me, will wonder where I am today, will think where I am today. Let me just inform and say, that doesn't make that person weak. That doesn't make that person a slave. That doesn't make that person, I don't know how to say that. It just means that the person is accountable. The person is respectful. Before doing anything new, the person will check with the leaders and say, is it okay to do this? Should I do this? And through that, mercy comes. And our heart opens up. And we feel that, I feel many times that my Lord, in my prayers, please bless this devotee. Because without any pressure, without even telling that you must do this, you must do this, the devotee just exemplifies some of these qualities of a servant. Many times we say we learn from our seniors. No, that's not true. Sometimes we can even learn from those who are so-called juniors than us by their humility, by their etiquettes. Never speaking negative about others, always encouraging others. I've learned so much from group of devotees, even in our own community. Always humble. And those who are always in a challenging mood, always looking at faults of others, always thinking that in a few years that they become great, now they can make their own decisions. If you don't agree to their decisions, then they don't like it. Maybe, anywhere I'm saying, then those devotees become far from you. Automatically you withdraw from them. The mercy withdraws. They're still practicing their own spiritual sadhana, but inside there is still something hollow. They're still feeling an emptiness. They're still not feeling that bliss in Krishna consciousness. Why? Because the sense of pride has sunk in. The sense of I know everything, or I'm the best, or I start seeing fault in those who have helped me in the journey of Krishna consciousness. And then they try, based on their own strength, by own chanting, by their own endeavors, to develop love for Krishna consciousness or develop love for Krishna, and that will never happen. Because Krishna consciousness, love for Krishna, bhakti, is dependent on the mercy of another devotee. To please Krishna or to please Ram, Hanuman had to take the subservient role and take shelter of Jambuval and Sugriv. Have we ever seen in any situation when Lord Ram and Hanuman directly would, approach Ram, put his arms around his shoulder, and casually talk to his master? That is a quality of a Das. Das means consistent in his behavior or her behavior, not only by action, but also by words. It is very difficult. That's why I say that before you take initiation, think about it. Think about it 100 times. What is your goal? What is the purpose of taking initiation? Prabhuji, my purpose of taking initiation, I want to get connected to the Sampradaya. Okay, but why do you want to get connected to the Sampradaya? So that I am saved, I am protected. But is it all about you? Is it all about me that I am saved? No. I want to get connected to the Sampradaya. I want to take the shelter of those acharyas who, by serving those lotus feet, I may be protected. I want to please them. I want to serve them. We see our own spiritual master, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj. His spiritual master, Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, did not want to initiate him. He said, I don't initiate anybody. Bhakti Siddhanta Maharaj would go and clean his toilet without him knowing. The master would come back and say, who's cleaning my toilet after I'm gone? When he found out that such menial service he's doing, for what? Not to get some blessing that, give me some blessing that I can get gold, chandi, sona, money, wealth, fame, knowledge, everything. No, just that. Please let me become your disciple. The definition of disciple means discipline. Discipline is very important in Krishna consciousness. We have to know when to become friends, who to become friends with, where to show respects, in which environment, how to address somebody, to speak to somebody. These are certain qualities that attracts the Supreme Lord. The Prachetas, the 10 sons of Prachin Bahari, who meditated underwater for 10,000 years. For 10,000 years, they meditated and they were chanting this Rudra some mantras for 10,000 years. And Lord Vishnu appeared after 10,000 years and was very pleased with them. You know why? Not because they were underwater and meditating and performing tapasya. But Lord comes and says, listen, I'm very pleased with the 10 of you, the 10 brothers. Why? Because for 10,000 years, you've had such loving exchanges between you all. No fights, no arguments. And with one focus attention, you've been calling upon me. Lord is pleased by that. A successful preaching movement is successful because of the relationships and the loving exchanges that happens within that moment. A happy family, a successful family is one where the family members are living with respect, love, and care for each other. It doesn't matter how big $1 million homes we may have. We may have big, big homes with all material things we need. But if in the family, that respect for elders, for the parents, for that love and affection between the parents, and that friendliness coming also from the parents to the child, that is missing, then there is no possibility of Lakshmi arriving there. And if Lakshmi is not coming, Narayan is definitely not coming. So it is very important to understand that to have a successful family life, to have a successful center or a temple or a movement, what is most important is not the buildings. It is the relationships between devotees, loving exchanges. If that the Lord sees, he melts. When he sees devotees singing and dancing together, joyfully holding hands, raising their arms, and dancing and singing, the Lord is present there. And as soon as the Lord is present there, Lakshmi, Shrimati Radharani is present. Wealth will automatically come. People will automatically start coming. Hey, this center when I go is so lively. People are so affectionate. Nobody speaks to me rudely here. They're always such humble devotees. That is our strength. Otherwise, tell me how, in the matter of 6 years, in a small place like what we have, that so many people have started coming. Why? Is it because of prasadam? No. It is because of the devotees. Correct me if I'm wrong. Those who have just started coming, Prasanna Prabhu, you're very new to our congregation. What attracted you to keep coming to the center? And you're also on Zoom today. You can unmute yourself.
I would say it was the sincerity, the people, and the devotion that I saw for the few times that I've been there. I think all of those things is what brought me back in for the past many weeks since I became introduced to this group, Ramacandra Prabhu.
Yes, thank you. Anybody else would like to share who's just started coming? Um, I know Aritra Prabhu has been coming just like just a few months. Aritra Prabhu, if you are able to speak, you can unmute yourself and share your own experience. Was it the parking lot, the nice building? Was it the prasadam? What was it?
No, Paul, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity, and everyone there is very humble and welcoming me. And I was in 2024, I have lost my father, and after that, I was looking for something is missing. It was very terrible memories. And I was searching for something, and finally I find out this thing, and I'm trying to follow the path. But I'm not, I don't know how much, but I'm just trying.
Thank you, thank you. So you see, the point is here is that we are all servants of the Lord in some way or the other. We are serving somebody. Understand it. You're either serving your grandchildren, or your grandchildren are serving you today or tomorrow, or you're serving your children, you're serving your boss, or you're serving your own senses. End of the day, our senses are pulling in different directions. They're saying, oh, let's go out and eat ice cream. So we follow that. The senses are saying, do this, and we follow that. So we are following our senses. We are slaves to them. But if we can dovetail that and become servants of the Lord and understand my eternal position, my eternal nature is, I am Gopi Bhartur Padakamalayur Dasa Dasanu Das. I'm the servant of the servant of the servant of the gopis who are the most dear to Lord Krishna. In that Dasya Bhav, we have to uplift others, be uplifted, show humility. Humility has to be there. It's not something that can be shown. It cannot be spoken. It has to be seen by action. People have to feel that humility, that this person is humble. Now, someone will take that humility as, hey, you are just a fool, they're using you, they're utilizing you, you are just doing this, तुम्हारा पूरा जिंदगी waste हो रहा है, why are you doing this? All that type of mentality will come. Like who? Simhika. If you don't do this, it will not happen. It will happen. You're not required. You don't need to do this. Why are others doing this? Why do you have to tell them that I'm not coming to the program today? Today there is no program. Let me just go enjoy. Why are you not enjoying? Let's go watch a movie. Let's not, आज एक ही दिन तो मिला है साल में एक बार ये ऐसा स्नो डे होता है. चल यार, let's go and watch this, let's watch that, let's go to the restaurant. This is nothing but Simhika coming in different forms, discouraging us from growing in spiritual life. We have to be very careful who you associate with, who your friends are, and I'll tell you in what who you are, is a famous saying. So it's very important that it's better to have one good friend who will pray for you, who will be there for you. There's one Hanuman, there's not multiple Hanumans, there's only one Hanuman. Similarly, we need that one person in our life who will be a true friend, rather than have so many who will just come, ha, they'll come for every occasion, and they'll be just friends with you and not inspire you even 1% in Krishna consciousness. What is the use? Think about it. Time is very short. Those who are close enough to me, I've been talking a lot about this Bhavishya Mallika and what is predictions for the next 7 years. If you've still not heard about it, I think you should. I can send you some links. But it is mainly being prepared. Life is short. Anytime anything worse can happen. And these next few years are very, very bad, is predicted. And this is not only from astrological standpoint. I'm also saying this from Krishna conscious standpoint, from the words of Srila Prabhupada also. So if we don't become serious now, today, then tomorrow will never come. Many of you all have become so serious in Krishna consciousness, regularly chanting. Some of you want to start Bhakti Shastri, reading Bhagavad Gita. I see so many youth now have joined they want to learn Mridanga, they want to learn harmonium, they want to learn singing, all this to engage themselves in Krishna consciousness. This is so wonderful. This would not have happened today without the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Srila Prabhupada. You go to any temples anywhere else, this type of outreach of Sanatan Dharma is very rarely happening, and we're in the middle of it. Either we can become a part of it and help the devotees, become Dasanu Dasanu Das, help devotees who are helping other devotees preach Krishna consciousness in and around the world. How can you become? In many ways. Through sharing, engaging your own intelligence, some of your own skills. It could be in the form of Lakshmi or money. It can be in the form of engaging others into this movement. It could be just by showing up and saying, hey, you guys are doing great. It gives inspiration. So let us remember Hanumanji, his services, selfless service. And if we want to please Hanuman, there are many Hanuman Bhaktas. But if we really want to please Hanuman, the best way to please Hanuman is to worship Lord Ram. If Hanuman finds out that I'm only worshipping Hanuman day and night, do you think he would be pleased? He will be respectful. He'll be like, yes, here is my disciple, here is my devotee, fine, good. But if he finds out that this person is a Ram Bhakta like me, can you imagine the mercy that Hanuman will shower? So we must worship Hanuman along with Lord Ram. That is the essence. And who is Hanuman? He is none other than an expansion of Lord Shiva. That's why we say Vaishnavanam Yatha Shambhu. The greatest of all Vaishnavas is Lord Shiva. So we must worship Shiva also in the right mood. This is very important. And at this point, I will end here because we don't have prasadam. So none of the serving team is getting agitated here. Sometimes in service, in a senior position, we have to tell sometimes to devotees, this is not right, or they do it this way or do it that way. If one is sincerely in the mood of dasya, it is very important, devotees who are new and old, remember this one thing, that in your life in Krishna consciousness, you must have at least one person of whom you have respectful fear. Not fear, respectful fear. And I heard this from another senior devotee, Rishi Kumar. He's a brahmachari, very senior devotee. He was recently saying that having that respectful fear is very important in Krishna consciousness. We don't want to be like an independent devotee who doesn't take anything from anyone or who takes information and instructions from everybody and anybody. No. So to have that respectful fear, sometimes in leadership position, we have to tell sometimes, no, do it like this, do it like this. But one should understand the intentions. Why is my master or somebody who I look up to, maybe my mentor, maybe my Diksha Guru, why is that person telling me? I look forward for my spiritual master to chastise me. I really look forward. And at the same time, I also look forward to not giving an opportunity to my spiritual master to chastise me. It's two ways. From my side, I want to do the best. And on the other side, I want my spiritual master to find faults in me through which I can become a better devotee and serve him and Srila Prabhupada in a better way. And if he chastises me, then I feel joyful that he has noticed something that I'm doing or not doing. Otherwise, how many people come up to you who are senior to you and tell you, Prabhu, don't do it this way, please, in a humble mood. And that should, to even take that, digest that properly, needs maturity. Takes a lot of maturity. That is the time to remember gratitude. Those who are ungrateful can easily lash back to the other person. But when we are grateful, if you are grateful to those who helped you come into this world, our parents, if you're grateful to those people who helped you to come to certain position, your teachers, your relatives, your friends, if you're grateful to those who brought you out of the most difficult situation in life, if you always remember that, like Hanuman, then you will never commit offenses against them. The problem is that no matter how grateful we are, we tend to forget in those moments when those people say something that we don't like, our first action is we lash back at them. We say things that we should not. And then later on we lament and say, why did I say this? Then we remember, oh, that time this person had done this for me or helped me in this situation. A true devotee of Hanuman will always remember this point of gratitude. That I have lost the right of saying anything to my spiritual master, to my Adarniya senior devotees of the Lord. I have lost that right to do that in any situation. And if one has to say, it has to be done in a respectful manner through many other mediums and channels. So Krishna consciousness, the first of the 10 offenses, if Ram Tulsi Prabhu can bring up the 10 offenses towards the holy name of the Lord, very important. The last thing you want to do is blaspheme devotees. And if you're not doing directly, like if you're not eating meat, one may say, listen, I don't eat meat. The next question is, do you cook for others? Yes, that's a problem. Did you buy meat for others? You don't eat. Yes, that's a problem. Similarly, if I don't offend directly, but am I giving ears to those who are offending the devotees of the Lord? Then we are also part of that offense. So you want to remain very, very careful. A spouse, husband, should protect the wife in these matters. A wife should protect the husband in these matters if they know that one is committing offenses against devotees. That is the true duty of a spouse. If a child notices also the father or the mother committing offenses against the devotees, the child should that time instruct, just like Prahlad Maharaj, when Hiranyakashipu was saying bad things about Vishnu, Prahlad Maharaj would say, Father, please don't do this. This is not right. He is the Supreme Lord. I respect you. I love you, Father, but you're my father. And he, Vishnu, is both of our fathers. Hiranyakashipu did not like that, but he spoke that. So we have to be careful. And if we are not in that position, if the person is still not listening to us, then we pray to the Lord and leave them at their own risk. Bhagwan bachaye unko. But we should not fall into that trap. So I'll pause here now. If anybody has any questions, comments, feel free to unmute yourself. And no question is a silly question, so don't feel shy.
Yes, Mother. Santirupa Mataji has a question. I think maybe she raised the question. Kindly go ahead, Mother.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. It was
Hare
such a wonderful class, Prabhu. Hearing your lecture will definitely make every one of us to remind all the things, all our mistakes, all our things. Like, it's really wonderful. I have one thing, Prabhu, like you were mentioning that, tolerance and humility does not work when it is affecting your devotional service, right? And keeping distance is something which helps. So, how do we know that whatever the distance is spiritually appropriate rather than a lack of humility? How one can justify themselves that they are not going out of their humility but keeping distance? That's one question, Prabhu. And the second one is, so we are, as you also mentioning that, we are taught to see every devotee as a very spiritually elevated and to honor them, right? But when practically, they are also facing a lot of difficult things, either it because Maya is affecting everyone. So we are placing them in high expectations and then we see their human weaknesses, right? So, and it can be very painful because the expectations, whatever we have for them, they're not reaching. So how should we adjust our vision so that we can respect devotees spiritually while not being emotionally hurt by not meeting our expectations? Yeah, these are my two questions.
So to the first question, you said there's one word that you use, and I wanted to address that it's not myself. It is, the question is that are we consulting with somebody in that situation? So that person can guide us in what to do is very important. Otherwise, our mind, remember, most of the decisions we make, if we are not at a very, if our sadhana is not strong, it is not Krishna directing from within, it is our mind, Chanchala Mana Krishna. Our mind is telling us a lot of things to do based on our innate natures. So at that time, it is very important to seek guidance of somebody who we trust in, somebody who we feel is a sound devotee. That is also important. And that person can then tell us, considering the situation, what is the best way to handle that situation. And a true person will always help you in not damaging the situation, but try to at least stabilize or make it better. That is another symptom of who we are consulting with. Otherwise, you can go to somebody, not you as in you, but sometimes we come across something and we share with someone, and that person makes it even worse than when we came to that person. The situation is made even worse than that. You don't like somebody said something, now you come out with a mindset where now I hate that person. So then we have to think, what did this person who I was taking inputs from do with me? Made things even worse. So that is one thing I would say, that consulting is very important. When we are in very dire situation, we must seek help. We must go to a doctor. We must call the ambulance. We must call the firefighters. Until then, we can try at home whatever remedies we have. But when it gets to a point where we cannot handle, we have to pick up the phone and call 911. Your second one, can you just summarize your second question again?
So the second question is like we admire, I mean, we always taught to see devotees as pure, and we also have a very high expectations about them. And they're also dealing with their, hardships due to the Maya or materialistic things. So how we adjust our vision so that we can respect devotees spiritually while not being emotionally hurt because of them not meeting our expectations.
By studying the scriptures. Our biggest problem is that we don't know who are devotees. We easily see somebody with tilak, dhoti kurta, and little bit of few hours of interaction, we feel one has become, as a pure devotee of the Lord. So that is why it is very important to read and hear scriptures to understand who's a devotee and differentiate between devotees at different levels also. Now, you very nicely said, how can I adjust my vision? Because that's very important. Because generally people want others to adjust their vision about myself. But we must adjust our vision to be able to see the other person nicely. We must try to see the positives in them. And if we are disappointed by, because we set the expectations. Number one is I set the expectations about somebody. Now, if they are not able to keep up to that expectation, then I have to reset my expectations. But I have to always remember, Srila Prabhupada said that if my devotee is even smoking, if you see him smoking at one of the BD shops, but he's still fixed on Krishna consciousness, then you must offer your full respects to that person. Maybe for the time being, he's just, distracted, but we must offer the respect. So if a person is still fixed in Krishna consciousness, but sometimes the behaviors are unlike a devotee, then we have to again seek guidance on what to do. Sometimes maybe keep a distance, sometimes understand the mood of the person. There's many factors involved, but this is a more of a generic answer.
Wonderful, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Yeah, it has given a lot of insights.
In the Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a beautiful verse, if we can pull up Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela 13.80, 13.80. And this verse is the essence of today's topic, where Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, as soon as it comes, you all can also read along. Naham vipro na cha narapatir napi vaishyo na shudro naham varni na cha grahapatir no vanastho yatirva kintu prodyan nikhila paramananda purnamritadbhir gopi bhartur padakamalayur dasa dasanudasa. In the translation by Srila Prabhupada is, I am not a Brahmana, I am not a Kshatriya, I am not a Vaishya or a Shudra, nor am I a brahmachari, a householder, a vanaprashta, or a sannyasi. I identify myself as a servant of the servant of the servant of the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, the maintainer of the gopis. He is like an ocean of nectar, and he is the cause of universal, transcendental bliss. He is always existing with brilliance. This is verse 74 from the Padyavali, an anthology of verses compiled by Srila Rupa Goswami. This is the essence, that I am the servant of the servant. Don't identify myself with different ashramas or varnas. Simple as that. So we must try every day of our life, we must try to develop this mood of dasya. If we can develop this dasya mood, you'll be able to do archanam very nicely. You will be able to do shravanam very nicely. You'll be able to do smaranam very nicely. And all the 9 processes of devotional service. Seriously, it takes a lot of effort. It takes tolerance to become a das. It is so easy to shoot out at somebody. It's very easy. But it takes courage. It really takes Kshatriya courage to control our tongue and our actions. Any other question? What I would also request is, maybe in another couple of minutes, those who have installed deities at home, if you can give darshan of your deities, we can go one by one to different homes and take darshan of the different deities. We used to do this during Zoom call. Generally on Sundays, we get darshan of only Nimai Nitai and Radha Shyam Sundar. But today, you all are on here on the call, you will get darshan of many different deities of different homes. So, but before that, anyone has any last comment or question? Okay, thank you very much. Ram Tulsi Prabhu, back to you, and then we can go around. We will start with one by one, taking darshan of different deities.